music's fading out. Man, it's great. Happy Friday, everybody. We made it to the weekend. Doesn't really mean much for me, but you know, whatever. For most people, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. Friday's your jam. And like I said last night on the live stream, I am now setting up to do Fraud Fridays, talking about frauds and scams out there. I got a huge collection of stuff, and I'm going to try and rock through it because, well, it's my dinner time, and I haven't eaten yet. I'm a little on the hungry side, so we're going to try and rock and roll through it. I tried to get this off at 6 p.m., but I was in the middle of doing a video edit. Just kind of lost track of it, looked down, I was like, oh man, hey, I got to put that together. So yeah, we're sporting the red. It's not really red, it's kind of pink, but you know, on the screen it looks red. So that's what really matters, because we're talking about red flags with scams. So I may have to do a little pokey here to get this to look right, but that's okay. That's what we're going to do. Let's pop this up here real quick. You can chat from wherever you're watching at. I'm live streaming on Facebook, both on my personal professional profile and profile, and then my Facebook page as well. And also streaming over on YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitch, and TikTok now. Yeah, I'm digging it, man. I'm digging it. I love this. So yeah, chat from wherever you're at. Any of this content, please, feel free to drop a comment. And if it's good, I'll put it up here. And, if it's not, then I'll still put it up here and we can all laugh. How's that sound? Anyhow, let me pull this up here. Where's my browser? Hey, yeah, of course that's not going to work. So give me a second. I knew this was going to happen. I was moving too fast for my own good. All right. See, yeah, that's what I get for moving too fast. There we go. Let's try that one again. Yes, it works. All right. So the whole point behind all of this is to make sure you or your family members don't get caught in a scam. And there are, like, man, I thought I was on top of this, and then I started actually paying attention. I'm like, oh my God, there's just so much out there. So many different ways that people try and scam you. So initially I was going to do this just on like real estate scams with wire fraud and that kind of thing. But the more I look, the more I think we really need a deep dive on this on the regular. Try and keep your money in your own pocket, So starting off here, we've got iMessage text gets recipient to disable phishing protection so they can be phished. Okay, if you don't understand what that is, it's so iMessage, obviously that's Apple. I'm gonna withhold my other judgment on Apple there. But phishing is they're trying to get your personal information so they can impersonate you. And in this case, it's smishing, which is SMS phishing. I know it's all these weird terms, but that's okay. Anyhow, attempting to socially engineer them into bypassing built-in protection. They have examples online of how they're trying to get around this, and over a bleeping computer, which really banging site too. I primarily get my info from Malwarebytes. I've got quite a few others here, but the vast majority of it's Malwarebytes. Anyhow, works like this. Under normal circumstances, iMessage will disable all links and messages from unknown senders, which is a good thing, to protect the user against clicking them by accident. Totally kosher up to that point, right? And then we get to this. However, if a user replies to a message or adds the sender to their contact list, the links are enabled, allowing the person to click on the link. So here you're getting, random person, hey, this is Joey. Reply back so, I can send you this link. Okay, and we've got these are very popular right now. Hell, I get them. Undeliverable packages from USPS, Post Office, Mail, DHL, FedEx, whatever. Look, Amazon will send you an email. The rest of this, no, they are not going to send you text messages. Unpaid road tolls, same thing. They're not sending text messages. Any of that you see, it's a scam. Same thing with shipping fees and other outstanding payments, but they all, there you go. They all end similar to this. Please reply Y and then SMS, reopen the link. There we go. Let's see if you should be able to read that on pretty much any screen. So, Oh no, it's not going to go back the way it was. Reset. Nope. What did I have it at? Yeah, 150. That looks about right. And yeah, that's how they get you. So, firstly, be aware that this does exist, that these are scams that they're sending out. You know, oh, you owe us $7.25 for your own paid toll fare on the Suncoast Parkway. No, no, I'm on auto pay. No. So yeah, and this isn't just for you. Please tell your family members too. Actually, one of the things I love is my mom watches this stuff, and she's like, I didn't know about that, but I got one the other day, and nope, just deleted it. I'm like, yes, yes. So you know, help use this information to help the people around you harden up their digital lives, so they can't fall victim to scams. And sometimes it's just just as little as, yeah, I heard about this thing. If you get it and it says from the post office, or you know, you got a toll from the state of Florida, it's bogus. Do not reply to it. That's all you got to say. So yeah, there you go. If you live somewhere with a do not call list or spam reporting service, make full use of it. You know, I am on both do not call lists, the state and the federal, and I'm still getting calls from people. The funniest one I got, going to the real estate side here for a second, the funniest one I got was they called me up and they're like, hey, do you need somebody to cold call potential clients for you? I'm like, no. Absolutely not. First of all, I wouldn't do that. And secondly, if you're calling somebody who is on both the state and the federal do not call lists, I certainly don't want you representing me. So, but yeah, I don't know if it's actually helping. You know, if I could wave a magic wand, oh yeah, I'd crack down on these idiots so hard. But yeah, everything else, like, look, here's the big one. Don't assume any message is the real deal. Just don't do it. If it's coming through on your phone and it's not somebody you directly know that's saved in your contacts, first thought in your brain should be, it's a scam. It's bogus. So yeah, if it sounds too good to be true or bad, it probably is. And you can use third-party text protection, text message filtering like the ones offered by Malwarebytes Mobile Security. So again, they're pitching their stuff, and I love Malwarebytes. But you know, some things do slip by every once in a while. Not a lot though. Anyhow, let's move on here to WhatsApp spear phishing campaign uses QR codes to add device. So this is going to be kind of similar. Star Blizzard, blah, blah, blah. Here we go. Kindly try this alternative link. Should work without any issues. Same. By scanning the QR code and following the instructions on the website, they confirmed the addition of an extra device to the WhatsApp account of this target. Yeah, with that, the access group can read and manage their messages on their WhatsApp account and use existing browser plugins, particularly those designed for exporting WhatsApp messages to an account. So yeah, it's let's see, do they say how people are getting into this? Target. Yeah, the idea is that the target will respond with a remark about the broken link, and then they send you a short URL. So yeah, very similar kind of scam. I don't use WhatsApp. I did have it for a little bit, and I'm like, no, man, because like literally, look, I know internationally WhatsApp is by far the messaging platform of choice. Domestically here in the US, like 99% of the time when somebody's like, hey, can we move this to WhatsApp? Guaranteed to be a scam. So I did use it for a little bit with one set of clients who were international, but then they just kind of disappeared. So I'm like, whatever, I'll just get rid of it because it's just not worth the hassle. But yeah, they can get your WhatsApp messages, which, you know, like my stuff, generally speaking, my stuff's pretty benign. But still, I don't need text messages going, like my text message history being able to, you know, have some scammer have it and go, oh, well, you said this. Whatever, man. Yeah, no, not cool. Yeah, like even if you send something jokingly, it can still be used against you. We know about that. Anyhow, yeah, WhatsApp, no QR codes. Don't click on links. Don't reply and go, oh, yeah, sure, send me a short link. All right, moving on. The Great Google Ads Heist. Criminals ransack advertiser accounts via fake Google ads. So if you go onto Google and you search up something, the first set of results there are now sponsored results. Sponsored means they're ads. So yeah, they're delivering up fake Google ads, and some of them, yeah, and there's a bunch this is a very long article, but really what they're doing is they're faking legitimate accounts. And Google's caught on, but they haven't found a blanket fix for it. But, if you're looking for, new microphone and the first link is Amazon and the second link is Amazon, that second link may not actually be Amazon. So this is part of what they're doing. And yeah, it looks legit, or maybe it's not. Maybe it looks like something else entirely, but yeah, yeah. Okay. So let's pop down here. Criminals impersonate Google ads. Oh, hey, there you go. Ads.google.com, Google ads. There you go. There's the sponsored. So, I mean, like, if you're not paying a ton of attention, that looks totally legit. And about this advertiser, there you go. So you'd have to like click the little 3-button drop down thingy here and go look and see who that advertiser is to see if they actually are who they say they are. And I guarantee it's not Christian G in Germany, especially if it's coming from Google. Same thing, Google Ads sign up. Some of these hacked accounts had hundreds of other legitimate ads running, and one of them was for a popular Taiwanese electronics company. So yeah, like that. So there you go. There's your pro tip of the day. You see the ads and the sponsor thing. If you are going to click on an ad, click the little drop down, the hamburger menu, the 3-dot menu next to it, and just see who it's coming from. And yeah, there's just tons of these. Lures hosted on Google sites. So, yeah, they'll do this through Google themselves. This is huge. And yeah, they're fishing for Google account credentials too. Because, you click the Start Now button found on the Google Sites page, and they're redirected to a different site which contains a phishing kit. So yeah, they're steal your email, steal your password because it's telling you to log in. And look, if you're not paying attention, oh yeah, I guess I do need to log in to get in there. It's like Google to sign you out. Well, you got to log in. It is not legit. So again, you don't have to dig this deep into it. Just be aware that these are a thing. There's a lot, like, yeah, they dig into the code on this. I'm not asking anybody to read code. But yeah, like be aware. It just because it comes up as a Google sponsored result does not mean it's legit. Let's scroll back up there. And if you see a Google site, be super careful and wary. Like most of these sites, legitimate sites are not going to ask you to log into your Google account. So let's pop over here. This is from the Florida Consumer Newsletter from the Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. Let me get that zoomed up enough here so you can actually see it. Start of tax season. Yeah, that's good. You know about your taxes. By the way, if you bought a house in the past year, go file your homestead exemption. That you got to file it with the property appraiser. It's free to do it, but it caps your tax increase year over year. And once you've got it established and you decide to move, there's some portability there. So it's a really good thing to do. Do it as soon as you can, because otherwise your taxes can increase. I think here in Pinellas County, it's like 10% year over year. I'm not super good on this, but yeah, I think it's capped at 3% if it's homesteaded. So yeah, if you bought your house last year, you own it, you're living in it, go get your homestead filed this year. And you can do it online. I struggled with that because it's like, oh yeah, what's your dog's birth certificate number? And I'm like, what are you talking about? It just, wouldn't let me get around some of the stupid things. So here we go. They do talk some, this consumer newsletter put out by the state of Florida. They do have some scam and fraud information in here. This is about avoiding a flood damaged used car. Now, we just coming off a hurricane season. We had 3 storms. Can't forget Debbie. Hit the area. Helene was by far the worst as far as our flood damage went. And then obviously Milton. But yeah, there's like we saw a lot of the damage that was out there to homes and personal property. we saw, a bunch of cars on the news, but it wasn't like a huge thing. Well, now you're going to find scammers who are out there with flooded cars, generally issued a new title called a salvage title. This occurs when the vehicle has been deemed a total loss by an insurance company due to the damage, and it marks it as severely damaged. So unscrupulous sellers may try and hide a vehicle's true history and defraud buyers by title washing. This is the illegal practice of removing information like flood damage on a car title to make the vehicle easier to sell by presenting a clean title. Often these vehicles are transported out of the flood area to places where buyers may be less aware of the warning signs of flood damage. So just because you're buying a car in Orlando does not mean it was not flood damaged. Yes. Have it inspected. That's the big one. And then check for signs and smells of flood damage. Check for a history of flood damage if you can, like a Carfax may or may not show it. Get a vehicle history report. Again, that may or may not show it. Get help from an independent mechanic. Find yourself a good one. And then if you are dealing with somebody who is clearly being a fraudulent seller, report them. Like, please report them so somebody else doesn't get scammed. And look, I'm not telling you you shouldn't buy a flood damaged vehicle, but if you do, understand you're getting yourself into some extra hassle. And you might have some, you might come away being an okay deal, but then again, it might be the biggest lemon you've ever seen. So probably not something you want to get into if you can avoid it. Task scams. Here, let me pop this back up. Wherever you're watching at, if you got a question or a comment, you can drop it in the chat. I'll bring it up here. Anyhow, task scams. So if you're doing like TaskRabbit or something along those lines, this is a different one. Task scams generally start with an unexpected text offering online work. They say you can make good money by product boosting or doing optimization tasks online. Once you complete it, you see an ever-increasing tally of supposed earnings in the app. So, hey, you went on and liked 1,000 videos on TikTok. Hey, great. You got $150 sitting in your bank account. Thing is, that's fake. At some point, the app or online platform will ask you to deposit your own money, usually in crypto, to complete your next set of tasks and get your supposed fake earnings out of the app. Look, never pay to play. Don't. If it's legit, they will pay you out of pocket. But the problem is people, hey, yes, I already spent, 20 hours doing these tasks. I deserve to get paid for it. If I got to throw $5 in crypto in there in order to get my money back out, well, I'll figure out how to do that. Don't, because that's how they're going to take your $5 and you're still not going to get paid for stuff. But the idea behind it is called the sunk cost effect. You've already put in this much time. What's an extra, $5, $10, $50 into an account to make sure you can get your $150 out? Well, that $150 doesn't exist. So to spot and avoid task scams, ignore generic and unexpected texts or WhatsApp messages about jobs. Real employers will never contact you that way. Never pay anyone to get paid or to get a job. It is a sure sign of a scam. I mentioned this last night, where culturally, we don't see a lot of it around here, but culturally there is the idea of an unpaid intern. The craziest thing I've seen, and apparently it does exist as a legitimate thing some places, called, what do they call them? Like reverse interns or something? But basically the intern is paying to get the work experience. Now look, you want to work for free, that's called volunteering. Maybe you put something on your resume. Do not pay to go work someplace. Their job is to pay you for the work. You're working, you're providing value, they should be paying you, not the other way around. So anytime somebody says that, it's a scam. And I don't care, oh, we're a Fortune 500 company. Still scam. Still, don't care, scam. Anyhow, don't trust anyone who says they'll pay you to rate or things or like things online. Let me try saying that again so I actually put the emphasis where it should be. Don't trust anyone who says they'll pay you to rate or like things online. That's illegal and no honest company will do it. Now, whether or not that's actually illegal, I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, it just seems shady. And if it seems shady, it's shady. So learn more about spotting and avoiding scams at ftc.gov/scams and report scams to the FTC at reportfraud.ftc.gov. So yeah, totally fake stuff. Hospice fraud. Hey, now here's the thing, because, back in the day when people were less easily offended, we used to say that Florida was the home of the newlywed and the nearly dead. Hospice care was a huge industry, and despite the fact that, we've gotten a little bit better about having middle-aged people here, and, some younger people, but, hospice, still a big industry around here. So you may see people reach out and offer free in-home perk like cooking and cleaning in exchange for your Medicare number. Don't do it. Don't give it. Could be a scammer trying to commit hospice fraud. They're targeting older adults with calls, texts, emails, fake ads, even door-to-door visits. Man, that's bold. Claiming they'll set you up with services like free cooking, cleaning, and home health care. Now look, if you're getting up there in age or you're physically not so spry as you used to be, that doesn't really sound like a bad idea. Somebody come in and cook and clean and, do a little healthcare thing? Not bad. What they likely won't tell you is how. They want to commit fraud by signing you up for Medicare hospice. That's right, hospice care. Then they can bill Medicare for all kinds of services in your name. Hospice care is a specialized service often done at home for people with terminal illness approaching the end of life. Only your doctor can certify that you're eligible for hospice, meaning your life expectancy is 6 months or less. So look, if your clock's ticking down, you got 6 months left, cool, your doctor can get you on hospice care. Some rando coming to your door saying they'll cook and clean for you and they're going to run this scam? Terrible. If you're signed up for hospice and don't need it, this could affect your Medicare coverage in the future. So you could lose your coverage, and you're probably going to lose your hospice benefit should the time come that you actually need it. Anyone who tells you otherwise is a scammer. Go figure. Here's some easy ways to avoid hospice scams. Again, forward this on to your aging or aged relatives. Never give your Medicare number to someone offering free services like housekeeping or cooking. Medicare does not offer free services like that. Never agree to sign up for hospice care in exchange for perks or gifts like money, gift cards, or groceries. Know that Medicare will never come to your home and sign you up for services. If somebody does, they're a scammer. Kick them out. I have other thoughts on that, but I'm now broadcasting across a very wide variety of platforms, and I would immediately get banned for saying such things. Suffice it to say, I'm in Florida. I know where the ponds are. Hate scammers. Hate them. So, yeah, watch out for that. Make sure you let your elderly relatives and friends know about that. Phishing scams, we covered quite a few of those. So I'm just going to kind of skip that. Except for, do I have an account with the company or know the person who contacted me? Again, are they in your contacts on your phone, or do you have an account with that company? Just because you have an account with that company does not mean that that is still legitimately from that company. If the answer is no, it's likely a phishing scam. If the answer is yes, contact the company using a phone number or website that you know is real. Thank you. Just because somebody says they're calling you from Spectrum does not mean they're actually calling you from Spectrum or texting you from Spectrum. Go Google up Spectrum, go find their website, and then call the number there and say, is this actually legit? And they're probably going to tell you it isn't. So, yeah, use something different if you can, report them if you can. If you get hacked, like your username, password, blah, blah, blah. So what are the signs that someone hacked your account, and how can you recover a stolen account? Here's some things that might tip you off to a problem. Get a notification that your email address or phone number has changed, or that your password was reset, but you didn't make those changes. You get a message from someone who tried to log on or did log on to your account and it wasn't you, or you can't log into your account. If you can't log into your account, follow the provider's account recovery instructions. Here's links to some of them. Facebook, Microsoft, Google, Instagram, LinkedIn, Reddit. Like, they got a bunch here, which is good. If you get a notification about an activity you don't recognize and can log in, here's what to do. Change your account password. Actually, I need to do this myself. Choose a unique and strong password. Secure your account using two-factor authentication. So that means you log in and it sends you something to your phone, the text message, and you got to put that code in the website. That's two-factor authentication. Or there are authenticator apps too. Update your account recovery information. Check for signs that someone had access to your account. So yeah. And yeah, that's the end of that one. So yeah, that's from the state of Florida. Good stuff. Malwarebytes newsletter. Here's a good one. 3 rules for 2025. And yes, I completely I'm totally down with this. Less location sharing. Only when you want it, only from those that you trust, and never in the background for your apps. Now, I will say there are legitimate apps that this is actually useful for, and I'll give you a good example. Like on Google Maps, my family runs that because if anything ever happens, I don't need you telling me that you're stuck on CR39. I don't know where CR39 is, and it's going to take me a few minutes to figure it out, and that might be on one side of town or the other. Just give me a map pin. And sometimes you're not going to be able to drop a map pin where you're at. So, you know, being able to live track family, that's kind of important to me. Everything else, I'm like, you don't even know where I'm at. In fact, I talk a lot about, I fly my drone a bunch. Even at that, my drone apps, I only allow location services when I fire up the drone app. That's the only time it needs it. The rest of the time, DJI or Altel, they do not need to know where I'm standing at. So, you know, just turn off, unless it actually legitimately serves a purpose for you, directly to you, something that you go, yes, I find this feature extremely useful. My life would suck without it. Turn off location sharing. Like, most of this stuff has no business knowing where you're at. And yeah, that includes social media too. Like like same thing with, you know, the access to the microphone and the camera and the rest of that stuff. There are times like, I'm doing a live right now. If I was doing this on my phone, yes, any of these platforms would require access to those features to be able to live stream. That makes sense. Afterwards, shut it off. They don't need it. More accountability. If companies can't respect your data, respect yourself by dropping their products. There's quite a few companies out there that are blatantly abusive to you, and yeah, we still use their stuff. So yeah, get rid of it. You don't need that in your life. No more data deals. The fast food app that offers more than just the $4 off a combo meal, it creates a pipeline for your behavioral data. So, you know, you go out and you download an app for your favorite fast food restaurant because, you know, you can get, you know, large fries upsized for a year. No, why would you want a third party being able to collect your data to see, oh, you really like fries from this place, and you know, when you do that, you're going here, and like, they can compile your life around that. It's not worth it to save $1 every once in a while. So yeah, don't do it. And if that's what they're doing, and they're like, yeah, we're going to collect your data when you do that. No, nope, don't need it. Don't need it. And I think if more of us did that, you can call it a quiet boycott, but I think like they would get the message, we don't want this in our lives. And I think that's entirely fair. So let's skip over to the next one here. Yeah, let's see. Yep, still nothing in the chat room. It's okay, we'll keep going. Here's a good one for you. $5 million payment credit card details stolen, and painful reminder to monitor Christmas spending. Ooh, 5 million US credit cards and personal details were leaked online. Discovered that 5 terabytes of sensitive screenshots were exposed in a freely accessible Amazon S3 bucket. For the, like, if you're not tech savvy, here, flash drive. What's this one say? This is a 64 gig flash drive. So you got megabytes. So, you know, nowadays photos get that size. Gigabytes, an old school DVD is about 4 gigabytes of data. This is 64. So do the math on that. This could hold, you know, 4 14, 16 movies, depending on the size, full DVD setups on this little thing. So that's gigabytes. And then the next step up is a terabyte. So you could have like 1 terabyte is like 250 DVDs, full quality, or Blu-rays. Like that's insane. 5 terabytes, that is a massive amount of information. And if we're talking just screenshots, those are pictures. So like that's literally hundreds of thousands or millions of pictures. So yeah, that's crazy. Filled out their detail. Here we go. Linked information contains 5 terabytes of screenshots where the victims filled out their details on websites that offered free iPhones and heavily discounted holiday gifts. Look, that's bait. That's all there is to it. If you see, oh, hey, free iPhone, unless it's from like a legitimate wireless carrier company and you can go into their store and they still have the promo behind the counter that says free iPhone, great. Otherwise, don't fall for this crap online. Same thing with heavily discounted holiday gifts. There's a certain website out there that I don't know how they got so big, because everybody that I've heard that's ordered off of it, they're like, nah, man, I ordered a dining room tablecloth and they sent me a napkin. So, but yeah, when you're looking at this, like you're talking 49 kilobytes, 110 kilobytes, so yeah, that's user details. Man, you know what? I got to do this. 5 terabytes divided by 100 and we'll do 110 because that was about average kilobytes. That's 45 million records. 45 million people did this. That's insane. That's more than 1/10 the population of the United States. Holy crap, man. So yeah, fill out your information. There you go. Here you go. You may have won a cruise. You have successfully won a new entry into our sweepstakes. Say what? No. Don't fall for this crap. And don't let your kids fall for this either. Task scam surged by 400%, but what are they? Well, I already covered that. That's a duplicate. Here we go, bigger pockets. We're going to change gears here for a second, go into the real estate side of things. Real estate scams are getting worse. Here's how to protect yourself. And this is a huge one right now. It's not super huge, I should say, but it should be a super huge concern. Here we go. Contractor and roofing scams. Look, we're coming off of, like I said before, 3 hurricanes, bunch of damage. This one, yeah, fortunately, my people were all good except for one of my previous clients, and she's got her own stuff together. Christina, good for you, girl. You're on top of it. I'm not worried about you. Everybody else, though, contractor and roofing scams. Get on unethical contractors and roofers targeting property owners, need quick repairs. They often exploit urgency to secure contracts and payments without delivering quality of work or any work at all. So yeah, they're giving you unsolicited offers, claiming to have noticed damage while passing by. Examine, push for, there you go. There's a red flag. Push for immediate contracts. Promise to handle the insurance claims, but either they deliver subpar work or they just disappear. Red flags and prevention. No written estimate. Write an estimate. Yeah, that trigger. I'm going to go off on a tangent here for a second. So way back in the day, there was a very famous double unaliving case here in it was in Tampa. Like the bodies were found in Tampa Bay. Very, very famous. I know it exceedingly well. And dude was a contractor. The guy who did the deed there, he was a contractor, and even he would provide written estimates. So yeah, if you're not getting a written estimate, scam, get out. And they'll be like, oh, but really, we can do this on a handshake. No, get out. you can't do a written estimate, you can't show me your paperwork, you can't show me you got a license, certificate of liability insurance, any of that stuff, nope, go away. Don't need you. You know, unless it's like the family handyman that you actually know where they live and you can track them down, different story. Pressure to pay up front. Hey, you know what? I can get started tomorrow. Just give me $5,000 up front and I'll stop by Home Depot on my way home tonight and put all the stuff in the truck and I'll be over at 8 a.m. tomorrow. No. I mean, it sounds good to have your stuff fixed immediately, but no. You just paid somebody $5,000 to go find someplace else to be. Lack of credentials. Always ensure the contractor is, oh, here we go. See, I already said it. Licensed, insured, and reputable. Reputable is a little, you know, like, are they 3-star? Are they 5-star? Don't trust complete firewall 5-star reviews. Every once in a while, it's nice to see they got a ding, you know? Oh, they came in $20 over budget. Well, Patricia, that was a $200,000 project. I think billing an extra $20 for this other thing that you know, we saved you another $10,000, but you had to come up with this other thing that you want to throw in for. No, you can pay your extra $20. Yeah, but definitely verify business licenses and ask for proof of liability insurance. And look, I'm telling you right now, you got a hole in the side of your house or on your roof. You want things done quickly, and I totally understand that. But, you know, when you're dealing with contractors, again, unless it's somebody you already have, you know, they're known thing in your world, and I've got a few of those. I know several that I'm like, you're the go-to. If it's just some random person, go check their stuff. I'm not saying that you shouldn't take a chance on a newer company, but just because they're new doesn't mean they shouldn't. I'm going to say it. They should have their shit together, even if they are new. So, yeah. Insurance scams, very similar. Here's a big one. One method of scamming involves ghost brokers. I've actually gotten a couple of insurance people that I'm going to interview on the podcast here coming up soon. But for right now, we're going to talk about this. Ghost brokers who sell legitimate policies but cancel them soon after, pocketing the premiums while leaving the property owner unprotected. If you were around during the great financial crisis of 2008, when all the banks failed, we were seeing this with a lot of the property owners. They just weren't paying their bills. But they were renting out the houses, so they were collecting, we're going to use round numbers here because it's math and I suck at it, they're collecting $1,000 a month in rent. But they're not paying the bank for what they should be, so they're pocketing $1,000, you know, $1,000 a month in rent, and the bank's foreclosing on the property. Well, it's going to take them a year to foreclose on the property. Now they just made $12,000, and the people who were renting, they're out $12,000. So, and this is this is exactly the same thing. I'm going to take the money, but I'm not going to pass it through to the service provider. So property owners typically don't realize they've been scammed until they go to file a claim, only to discover that the policy either doesn't exist or was canceled without their knowledge. Okay, again, this comes back to use a reputable broker, do your homework. And I know it sucks. Adulting really sucks. I hate having to call my insurance people. But yeah, totally worth double checking them. Red flags and prevention, suspiciously low premiums. If rates seem too good to be true, they likely are. Always compare quotes from multiple reputable providers. A broker will do that for you. But if you get somebody, oh, well, you know, this is a direct only company, pay attention. You know, we only go direct to consumer. That's why our rates are better. How much better? 10, 15%, maybe. Go call a broker and say, look, is this a legitimate company? Is this what I should be expecting in line? And they'll tell you. Like, a good broker wants your business, but they don't want to, you know, badmouth somebody else, because you might have that company go, oh man, like we had something small happen and they were just a pain, so we're going back and find us somebody better. So, you know, yeah, unverified agents, verify credentials by checking with your state's insurance department. Look, 20 years ago, couldn't do it. Now, Google them. It's not that hard. Incomplete documentation. Ensure you receive official policy proposals prior to signing a contract and paying premiums. You don't have to be an insurance genius. You just need to tell them, please send me the declaration, even if it's not the official one, send me an example of the declaration page and all the rest of my documents. And again, these are things that you can Google. You can say, what documents should I be expecting? And you'll see, like, it's a big pile of paperwork, depending on what it is. And yeah, don't pay up for, one flimsy 1 or 3 page document. No. Transactional property scams. Oh, this one's right in my wheelhouse. I hate this stuff. Some scammers forge documents to falsely claim ownership of a property, commonly known as title or deed fraud. I have a video. I don't think it's up on my website. It might be. I got to go find it because I've referenced this several times already. But there was a veteran up in Pasco County, saw a house he liked, talked to the guy who was out front sitting on the fence. And dude's like, oh, yeah, the house is for sale. I had a sign in front of it. And dude's like, yeah, I'll sell it to you. And yeah, I'm a veteran too. And, they kibitz for a little bit. And dude's like, cool. And he came back and gave the dude a check for his life savings to buy the house. Because, we don't need to bring anybody else in on this. We'll just hand off Apparently, the dude that was sitting on the fence didn't have anything to do with the house. He just happened to be a lucky SOB who walked away with this dude's money. Scammy. Oh, yeah. The hell is too good for you. But yeah, these things do happen. And that poor veteran, he was out his money because it was like cashier's check. Guy went down, cashed it, and just disappeared. And this dude has no money, no recourse, no paper trail, no nothing. He is literally out his life savings because he tried to save a couple of bucks. And, that don't do that. Like, there are better ways to save money. Don't try and go around an established process because he didn't know the rest of the process. He just knew he didn't really need a real estate agent because, that's extra money. I found the house I want. I found the guy who's going to sell it. Nope. Look, for free, I will tell you, if that scenario happens to you, take the deal down to a title company. Don't give the guy a penny until the title company verifies this is Joe Schmuckatelli and Joe Schmuckatelli owns that property you're interested in. Title company may charge you a few $100s to do that, but it is worth a few $100s to not be out of your life savings. Anyhow, another popular scam involves fake property listings. We see this a bunch. I'll pop a listing up. Hey, I've got this great listing over in Safety Harbor. And the next thing you know, it's for rent on Craigslist. It's not for rent, it's for retail sale. But nope. And I'm not going to get too deep into this, but I've seen this happen. I've been right there while this happened. And yeah, and those scammers, man, they're on it. You need to send us, this much deposit for your rent, blah, blah, blah. And they'll disappear with it, or they'll pressure you for more money. And when this happened, they were pressuring for more money. I'm like, give me the phone. Like, I'll give you more money. Meet me over at Countryside Mall. I'll tell you which parking lot. Be there in an hour. They're like, no, you can't do that. You got to wire it to me. I'm like, you want your money and you're threatening me? You come get it. They disappeared real fast. Because, they don't want to they weren't going to try that. They knew what would happen. Anyhow, yeah. And again, when they put up these listings are unrealistically low prices. Like the current place that I have available for sale, it's not cheap. It's worth it. The value is there, but it's not cheap. And I swear, if this popped up on, Craigslist or something, they're like, yeah, you can rent it for $1,500 a month. No, no, you're not getting that good of a deal on a deal. And yeah, they often use stolen photos or misleading descriptions to make their property appear legitimate. Fake listings are posted on websites with little oversight, such as Craigslist. See? Didn't even read it, and I told you it was Craigslist. Or on social media sites. Yeah. See, that one ticks me off because I have tried to post stuff up on Facebook and they're like, no, you can't do that. And I'm like, then why are the scammers able to do that? Like, I'm legit. I got my license, I got all my stuff, and Facebook's like, no, you can't do that. You're not dead. I'm like, yes, I am. I got this. Ugh. Pain. Red flags and prevention, unrealistically low prices. So like, look, if you need a rental and you see that all of the other rentals in the neighborhood are going for $3,000 a month and somebody has it listed for $1,500, nope, probably 99% of the time, that's going to be a scam. I will say there is legitimate circumstance where that can happen, and that's where the owner has owned it long enough to pay off the mortgage. They're not looking to maximize a return on it, and yeah, they'll run it for below market because they don't need to be able to service a mortgage on it. And sometimes that's a little pay it forward, give it back kind of thing. But again, there's a right way to find out. Like, are you a legitimate property owner? And a good one, like even if it's through a property management company or an individual renting it, they like, if it's my property, I'm going to tell you, this is my name, this is the name, like, sometimes like it'll be in an LLC, which just makes it easier for the scammers. But go look at the deed. Like, there's 100 good ways to do this. And again, if you come to me and say, I'm looking to rent a place, I think this dude's bogus, or, I just need to make sure he's legit, I'll do that for you for free, just so you don't get scammed. Anyhow, let me turn that one off there. Lack of detailed information. Legitimate property listings include detailed information such as room dimensions, amenities, and specifics about location. Sort of like, yeah, it's someplace in Clearwater. I don't know. Suspicious photos. Look, if you're seeing a rental listing for $1,500 a month, and the photos were like they're professional grade, they copied those from someplace. That's all there is to it. Now, mind you, I'm gonna call it like I see it. There are quite a few agents out there who do take their listing photos with their cell phone. Look, cell phones take great photos. Most people do not. So don't do that. Or, if you are, then know how to make them look good. But if the photos look really good, then they're probably stolen. Or reverse image search them to see if they appear elsewhere on sites or other listings. Again, if it's been listed with an agent, it'll be on the MLS. So if you do a reverse image search of one of the photos of one of my listings, it'll come up on the MLS, Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes.com, like all of the other sites that it is a for sale listing. So if you see it for rent, it's bullshit. Typos and poor grammar. Man, I see so much of this on social media that I think people are completely inured. You see? Good 50-cent word of the day. To typos and poor grammar. I think people don't even notice it anymore because it is so common. But what's funny is they will make the same typos over and over and over. And I'm seeing this with bots on certain posts, like in the real estate group, they say, my broker says I'm not allowed. And allowed is spelled ALOUD, which is speaking something aloud, not permitted, which is ALLOWED. Thank you to my English teachers. But yeah, and I'll see that post. My broker says I'm not allowed, or somebody will say I'm not allowed, and it's completely misspelled. And I'll see that on half a dozen different groups and postings. I'm like, that's the same bot. That's the same scammer. Nope. Man, I must be feeling better. I'm talking good tonight. So yeah, typos and poor grammar. And look, I'm not saying somebody has to be an English major to put stuff up there. I know English is a second language for a lot of people. And if it's your second language or third language or something like that, 2 thumbs up, holy crow. Like I've got a little smattering of other languages, and yeah, no, I am massively impressed if somebody can, if English is a second language. I don't care that you fumble or stumble or, make typos or whatever. It's not an easy language. So I'm very forgiving if it's not your first language. But if it is your first language, you should know. You should know better. I understand this. If it's your first language and you make those kind of mistakes, I am judging you. Request for upfront payments. Hey, you got to put a deposit in today for $1,000 or else we're not going to hold it. We got somebody else who's interested. Nope. Okay. Give it to somebody else. And especially through methods like wire transfers or prepaid cards. Yeah, just go down to local convenience store or whatever and pick up a bunch of iTunes cards. No, I am not paying for my rent in iTunes cards. Thank you very much. So again, if you have family who's relocating someplace, this is the kind of stuff you need to know about. Anyhow, that's from Bigger Pockets. We're going to move on to the printer scam, but before we do that, I'm going to take a quick break here. Just 10 seconds. Let's do station identification. And it's cold, so we're going to do something that looks warm. You're listening to KIDD Radio, the best of real estate in the Sunshine State. There we go. Just something a little fun. Although I need to change that up for my fraud thing, right? Fraud Fridays. All right. Let's talk about the printer bogus help scam. Now, look, I admittedly am a technology dude. That's why I can do this, right? And I remember the dark ages when things were dark dot matrix printers. And if you want to go before that, when I was knee high to a grasshopper, back when my mom was a secretary, I did learn how to set up and run a mimeograph machine. And for those of you who have no clue what that is, that's like the most modern version of a printing press just before there was a computer. Or widespread use of computers. It was typewriter, and you do the scanning thing, and you put it on the mimeograph, and it cranks out. You'd make stuff in bulk with that. I remember that. I remember when printers, you set them up, and they worked. Same thing with scanners. You hit scan, and it just scanned. None of this, the printer's low on cyan. I'm not allowed to scan. Say, what? I had a brother, I think it was a brother printer. I'm not 100% sure on that one, but yeah, it started in with that and it's like, no, I can't scan because I don't have enough black ink. And I'm like, black ink has nothing to do with your ability to scan. And there's no workaround for it. It's a boat anchor now. I ain't playing that game. And I miss, I remember back in the late 90s, in the Matrix, Morpheus says, this was the peak of your civilization. And we're like, no, 1999 couldn't possibly be the peak of our civilization. Now looking back, it was kind of the peak of our civilization. So, but now, you'd set up a printer and inkjets were a little finicky, but if you had a laser jet, or God forbid you had a color laser jet printer, yeah, you needed the toner, but man, you could set that thing up on a network in about 5 minutes. You didn't sometimes you'd need the stuff that had the drivers and came on a CD and just pop that in, or you could download the drivers if you were savvy enough and they had it. That was amazing. And these new ones are like, no, you need the app, you need this, and it's got to have the correct ink. And if it's not the correct ink from the manufacturer correct ink, then it's just not going to work. What hunks of junk, man? So I'm going to get on my techie group, and because we are kind of due for a new printer around here. I definitely want to get in with my techie group and go, look, give me one that doesn't have all of this bullshit. So, printer problems, beware the bogus help. Yes, anyone who has ever used a printer likely had the frustrating experience at some point. There's always some sort of problem. Software not responding, paper getting jammed, or a bunch of other possible failures. They often use Google and now AI to look for an answer. This is where scammers come in, preying on the unsuspecting and irate users already ready to throw their printer out the window. After clicking on a malicious Google ad, which we've already covered, victims are redirected to a fraudulent site, often using official brand names and logos. Yeah, the crook's end goal is to get people to call them and then achieve that by tricking them into fake printer drivers that always fail to install. Yeah, or sign in. And actually, we did have one in the techie group where they had, it was a networked printer, and I'm trying to remember specifically what it was, but they'd been using it, whatever, and it just stopped working one day, and all of the IT crew was like, I don't know what's wrong with it. Everything says that it should work. And it still wouldn't work. So eventually, they put a ticket on it, and it was let somebody else do the research on it. Come to find out, a month later, they finally figured it. Somebody ran it down and figured out that the reason it wasn't working is because they hadn't, the accounting department hadn't paid an invoice for this ongoing manufacturer program. Which the manufacturer's like, yeah, we didn't get paid for it, so we shut off your printer. Wait a second here. We own the printer. yeah, well, you didn't do the automatic renewal of your ink supply thing, so we figured you weren't using it anymore, so we shut it off. Yeah, even IT has problems with this stuff. So anyhow, again, Crook's end goal is to get people to call them and achieve that with fake printer drivers and always fail to install, which, look, if you're not super IT savvy, fake printer drivers not installing, that would not be a red flag to you. Malicious search ads, we already covered some of this. Again, all sponsored. There's the official site. By the way, pro tip, one of the easiest ways to just never have this problem. See how each one of these says sponsored, sponsored, sponsored result? Go down to the first non-sponsored result. I'm not saying it's impossible that that's a bad link, because it could be possible, but it's probably not. Especially if it's got the little drop down underneath it that says download, support, and all of that stuff. Yeah, that's you've got about as close to 100% chance that that's right as anything. So anyhow, software driver scam, there you go. You'll see things like this. There you go. Download the latest printer driver. Select your printer brand. Yeah, that's bad. Printer setup. Yeah, see. Oh, look, you're downloading drivers. Fatal error occurred during the printer installation. Download cannot be completed. To fix this error, start the live chat. Hey, just give me your credit card details and we'll hook you up. This type of error is very similar to those seen in the Microsoft tech support scam, typically done via browser hijack. So yeah, you're gonna put your stuff in there and then it just gets taken. And scammers want to scare and then get their victims to contact them directly via phone or live chat. Something else that can happen is remote access and extortion. So they'll here, just let me run remote into your computer and use a remote desktop feature or something like that. And yeah, I'll hop on your computer and see if we can fix whatever the driver problem is. No. Because then they're going to go find like your family photos, and then they start going, well, would your Aunt Jackie like to know what you're doing when you thought your webcam was covered? Yeah, so don't allow people to do that. Again, like I have a list about that big of people that I would actually trust to do that. And even at that, I'll see if I can fix it myself first. But yeah, watch out for that stuff because it can be used against you 1,000 different ways. Here we go. AI chatbot provider exposes 346,000 customer files, including ID documents, resumes, and medical records. Damn. Yeah, again, we got cloud problems. We got, yeah, there you go. Let's see. Some of the records included identification documents, including passports, which contain like full names, dates of birth, passport numbers, and other information cyber criminals love to get their hands on. Okay, medical records, including diagnoses, treatment history, test results, and other medical information that should be private. Resumes, which include employment history, addresses, education, and contact data like email addresses and phone numbers. Any one of those is bad. If they're getting all three, like just go declare yourself dead and start from scratch because you're toast at that point. Yeah, so they're doing this from phishing emails that look convincing because they include personal information to identity theft. So yeah, they're gonna say, hey, are you John Smith and your social security numbers, blah 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 blah. Yeah, we need your passport updated, so send that to us. Yep, off you go. Whatnot said it also typically recommends that its customers delete such files from the server after they have been received and forwarded to their own systems. Yeah. Here's the big thing. If anything, the incident shows the importance of checking where your data is going before providing companies with sensitive personal information. Period. They don't need to know all the stuff. And I'm sorry, I'm going to go completely against the grain here. Your employer does not need to, unless they're running like a full on like security clearance, like secret, top secret, SEI kind of stuff. Unless they're running that kind of a clearance and background check, they do not need to know the places you've lived in the past 10 years. There's no excuse for anybody to be asking you for that information unless it is for a security clearance. If your employer doesn't like it, oh, where have you lived? I've lived in Clearwater for the past 5 years. Well, but where? None of your business unless you're going to hire me and you're doing it for a background check, at which point I will be happy to do it through a background check. And if employers don't like that, then they're going to run out of employees. So, fight back on this a little bit. It's okay to push back. Your data is more important than what they want. So, yeah. Oh, man, I'm on a rant now. I must be getting hungry. Let's see what else we got. And by the way, we're doing a pretty decent runtime tonight because I did get my fresh battery pack. We're rocking and rolling. I'm loving it. It's not actually a battery. It's a battery replacement. So I'm on like AC power. My camera can run all night. Repeat offenders drive bulk of tech support scams via Google Ads. Look, and I will tell you this from everybody in the IT community and normal people, everybody I've ever talked to who is the slightest bit savvy about tech support and scams and the rest of the scams that are out there. And I have no heartburn saying this. If you're a scammer, you deserve the worst things in the world to happen to you. May the fleas of 1,000 camels infest your crotch hair, okay? Like, you suck as a human being, and whatever hell anybody can put you through, I'm just going to cheer them on, okay? Like, yeah, don't be that. And again, the real problem here is, in a lot of these cases, like we've got gray hat or white hat hackers out there that have tracked these guys back, and they're in some call center in the nowheresville, and look, just because it's a foreign country, I'm telling you right now, I would support sending a SEAL team in there to extract every single one of them and take them out and have their way, have some fun. I despise scammers. It is like the worst thing you can be doing. So all kinds of we covered some of the search ads that we talked about. Again, big brands like PayPal, eBay, Apple, or Netflix. PayPal's in a little hot water right now because they had that Honey browser extension, which saved you money when you're at a checkout. It gave you coupon codes, blah blah blah. Well, yeah, now they're up against, from what I remember, it was a class action lawsuit because they were hijacking legitimate referral codes. Like if I gave you, hey, go buy this thing, here's the link, and you went in to use that link, and I said, look, I'm an affiliate, I get paid a nickel every time you buy this thing. Honey was hijacking that and saying, no, we're getting the nickel, which Honey got associated with PayPal. And it's funny, Honey didn't have that problem before they were associated with PayPal. So I am not a huge fan of PayPal anymore, for a multitude of reasons. I refuse to have anything to do with it. And look, if your website only accepts PayPal, I have done it. I have done it once in the past year where I was like, look, there's no other way to go through it than PayPal Pay. And I even emailed the company and they're like, nah, man, that's the only payment method we have set up. I'm like, okay, but I'm doing this under protest and you all need to figure out something else. But yeah, PayPal as a company, they're just atrocious now. eBay, I don't get warm fuzzies about them too much anymore either, but Apple and Netflix, whatever. But they tend to drive a lot of online searches. Tech support scammers are leveraging Google Ads to lure victims in, getting them on the phone and finally fleecing them. While hard to precisely measure, tech support scams accounted for about $924 million, according to the FBI's 2023 Internet Crime Report. So yeah, that's just shy of $1 billion if you aren't a math person. Specific advertisers search for help and find a scam. Yeah, this is similar to one of the other ones that we did. Here you go. Look, PayPal customer service, malicious ad. You see it says sites.google.com and PayPal is paypal.com. See that right there? Huge difference. Oh, wait. Oh man, my mouse doesn't show up over there. That's okay. I don't have an easy way to do that. But yeah, fraudulent page host to Google. There you go. Scammer's number on the PayPal site. Scammer's number. Repeat offenders. Look at all this. Yeah, that's crazy. Over 30 incidents. Same advertiser ID. So yeah, Google, your white hats, all that stuff. Like, you should be tracking these people down and prosecuting them to the fullest. Or if they disappear, No loss, just as good. All right, skip over that. Americans are urged to use encrypted messaging after a large ongoing cyber attack. A years-long infiltration in the systems of 8 telecom giants, including AT&T and Verizon, allowed a state-sponsored actor, there you go, a state-sponsored actor, to steal vast amounts of data on where, when, and who individuals have been communicating with. Now, look, those of us been around the tech thing for a little while will tell you, like, it's 1984 out there. Like these things are spying on you more than what George Orwell could have possibly dreamed. But yeah, here you've got a state-sponsored actor who's out there doing that. I mean, you know, I got other opinions about that, but I like my dog. There's gonna be like one person gets that reference, but no, I like my dog. I ain't gonna say who it is because somebody will come to the house and shoot my dog. I ain't having that. Anyhow, the attack was broad. Hack was still ongoing. Known as Salt Typhoon, believed to be tied to the People's Republic of China. Blah blah blah. Yeah. Infrastructure that the U.S. government relies on to communicate is made up of the same private sectors that everybody else uses. By abusing their components that make up part of the infrastructure, the Chinese are said to have been able to eavesdrop on political and industrial leaders in multiple countries. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that doesn't happen here in the U.S., though. Large number of Americans' metadata was taken. When asked if to include their phone records, they said, "We do not believe it's every cell phone in the country, but we believe it's a potentially large number of individuals that the Chinese government was focused on." I just want to know if they sold it to anybody. That's all I want to know. Anyhow, yeah, so there are safe, free, encrypted apps. I think Telegram has dropped off of that list as being safe and properly encrypted. Or if they are safe and encrypted, I think that they did allow a warrantless turnover of information, so everybody's dogging on Telegram anymore. But Signal, free, works on all your devices, totally end-to-end encrypted, and Signal's record keeping is this sent a message at this time, and that's it. This device sent a message. And they're like, I remember there was a case that they got subpoenaed for the records, and they fought it, and then they got the records in there, and the court's like, "What do you mean this is all you've got?" And they're like, "It's all we got. It's all we keep." Yeah, and they're like, "But you have to have threads of the conversations, blah blah blah." And they're like, "No, we don't. This is all we got because this is all we keep." And I'm like, "Good for you, Signal." So look, most of the time, the things that you're sending your friends and family, they're innocuous. It's just the simple fact that, do you want some government official, local, state, federal, international, reading your text messages or looking at them? Again, most of the time, it's like, no, that's not really a big deal, but then sometimes it could be a big deal. And yeah, no, it's not, whatever I send to my family, that's between me and them. That's not for anybody else. And if somebody doesn't like it, tough tacos. So yeah, people are looking to further protect their mobile device communications, would benefit from considering using a cell phone that automatically receives timely operating system updates, responsibly managed encryption, and phishing resistant multi-factor authentication for email, social media, and collaboration tool accounts. So yeah. Signal's a great one to do. Let's see, we got just a few more here. Sad announcement email implies your friend has died. Okay, look, we're all on social media. If you think somebody died, maybe check your social media account first. See, look at the people around. Like, you get an email that says, your friend died. Bet you got phone numbers around that friend that you can find out for sure. Or, Facebook or something. Tech support scammers are again stooping to a new low with their email campaigns. This particular one hints that one of your contacts may have met an untimely end. Sad announcement, followed by a full name of someone you know. The email may appear to come from the person themselves. Coworker looking around, found such an email in a tweet about a year ago. Here you go, sad announcement from... yeah, the short sentence to pique the reader's curiosity. I am impressed they actually used the correct spelling of pique. Proper English and grammar, which often reference photos. Here are some examples. When you open them and see, you'll see why I actually wanted to share this with you today. Yeah, that doesn't seem fishy. Never thought I'd want to share these images with you anyway. Here they are. I'm assuming you should remember these two ladies in that photo. When I was looking through some old photos, I found these 3 pics. Like that's not an uncommon thing to get from friends and family members. Something like that, you know, looking through some old photos. Hey, look, I found these pictures from a while ago. Like, there are better ways to send pictures. 2 pictures I wanted to share with you, likely to bring a flood of memories to you as they did me. See, like that's a little canned. There's not too many people actually speak like that. Presumably, there we go, should have contacted you a bit earlier, just wanted to keep you updated. And then it's immediately followed by a link. They also follow a certain pattern. There you go. Look, it's pure gibberish. Gibberish, which means it's a scam. These domains are all registered with Namecheap and are only active for a few days. So they're burner, that's really all they are burner domains. To close off emails off, the scammers end with a quote in the format. You do not find the happy life, you make it. So yeah, if you see that, that's got to be a red flag. Sender's address is spoofed to look like it's coming from friends or family. So yeah, that's a problem. Again, Malwarebytes, love Malwarebytes. They have a browser guard. Pretty sure it's free. And yeah, if you try to go one of those sites, Malwarebytes will stop you because it's got malware. They'll tell you that. And you know, everything else, yeah, the fake Windows Defender site shows you get a bunch of threats. Yeah. Just look, always compare the sender's actual email address with the email address this person would normally use to send you an email. It should be pretty reasonable who's who. Never click on a link in an unsolicited email before checking with the sender. Don't call the phone numbers displayed on the website because they will try to defraud you. If in doubt, contact your friend via another trusted method. Friends or family of them. Somebody else who knows them. Send a carrier pigeon. Go over and knock on their door if they're close by. If your browser or mobile device locks up, meaning you're no longer able to navigate from the virus warning, you're likely looking at a tech support scam. Yeah, so just don't, like, again, we come back to don't click on shit. Anyhow, but yeah, that one's a little crazier. This one, man, I saw this and I was like, oh, hell no. Hell no. An air fryer, a ring, and a vacuum get brought into a home. What they take out is your data. So consumer rights group out of the UK posed a question, likely never considered, were there air fryers spying on them? And yeah, short version, yes, they were. The air fryers actually had an app. They're like, everything tries to be app connected now. I'm getting to the point that I'm like, please give me something stupid. Like my oven is older and it doesn't have a problem. It still makes food hot. There's no app for it. You know what that tells me? There's not a chance in hell that my oven is collecting my data. So yeah, but if your air fryer has an app, or your refrigerator, or your washer, or your dryer, look, there's some simple precautions, because I actually had this conversation with somebody that has a newer connected thing that has the app, and they were worried about it, rightfully so, because it's a good article about it. But yeah, it's easy to discount the data collection requests of an air fryer app. It's getting harder to buy any type of product today that doesn't connect to the internet, request your data, or share that data with unknown companies and contractors across the world. So yeah, you go out, you're buying a new appliance, and it's like, yeah, you got to download the app to make this thing work. And you get in the app, and it's like, permissions, grant us all these permissions. Do not grant permissions. The only permissions you should need are like to be able to use your Wi-Fi to connect to it and to be able to drive it. Anything else, it does not need to be able to connect to the internet. Like if you can take it off the internet, like if you're techie enough and you know how to do that, then yeah, do that. They should be on their own little sub network to where they don't talk to the internet unless you want them to. But yeah, everything else, like if it has buttons that you can push to make it work, it does not need to be connected. There are some things like, you know, the dryer. Hey, yeah, it's cool to sit back on your app, click a little button, make the dryer go longer. That's cool, but why would it need microphone permission? Why would it need camera permission? Why would it need location permission? So when you're seeing these things pop up with permission requests, think about it for half a second. Why the hell does your air fryer need to know where you're at? And certainly why would it need to know where you're at all the time? All of that stuff's getting offloaded to some data broker, and they're tracking, oh yeah, you made, you know, this thing in the air fryer, and you know, we're tracking you, and then you turned on your dryer and this, that. No, nobody needs to know that information. You would think nobody would want to know that, but apparently they do. So yeah, just if you're buying new stuff, try and get dumb appliances. Or if you really have a good reason to have a smart appliance, try and make it as dumb as you can, and definitely do not give it permission to do stuff that it doesn't need to do. Enough on that one. We'll go back over here. AI-supported spear phishing fools more than 50% of targets. Yeah, AI has been a game changer for a lot of this content. That AI has gotten really impressive in the past year. And yeah, spear phishing, which we already talked about some of those things where it's, you know, we're faking it out. There's a bunch of good stuff here. Yeah. The control group received an arbitrary phishing email and achieved a click-through rate of about 12%. Roughly 1 in 8 people clicked the link from a traditional email. But the one that was AI agents based on ChatGPT and Claude, 54% of people clicked on it. That's quite impressive. Look, I wish I could run an ad and get 54% click-through rate. But yeah, it's, there you go. Example profile based on one of the authors, AI generated email. There you go. That's actually quite impressive. So again, unsolicited stuff, even if it's well written now, because AI has gotten pretty good. It still makes some mistakes, but it's gotten pretty good. Everything else though, like, no. But you know, the good news is they're getting better at recognizing the emails, with only a few false alarms, and detected several emails that passed human detection. That's impressive. So, you know, again, this is something that we talk about on the real estate side of things. If somebody, like even on a work basis, if somebody is sending you a file and it hits your email and you didn't expect to get a file from them, like if somebody sends me a contract, my first thought is that's BS. My second thought is I'm going to pick up the phone and give them a call. Did you just send me an email with a contract on it? Why, yes, I did. Okay, cool. Then at least I have voice verification that it's probably legit. But if it's out of the blue, no, can it? No reason for that. Oh yeah, here's a good one. Dental group lied through their teeth about data breach, fined $350,000, which that doesn't seem like it's a lot of money, but chain of dental offices denied a 2020 ransomware attack and its associated data breach, instead telling their customers that the data was lost due to an accidentally formatted hard drive. They agreed to several violations of the HIPAA with a penalty of $350,000. Yeah, look, again, your personal data, doesn't matter what it is, but especially your medical data, that should all be firewalled off so nobody can get to it. That's all there is to it. And in this case, they were attacked by a ransomware group, and okay, there you go. Yeah, they were employing double extortion tactics, which means they encrypt the victim's data while also threatening to release its sensitive information unless ransom is paid. So they decided not to submit the mandatory notification within 60 days. They waited 2 years to submit a data breach notification to the state of Indiana. Look, you got problems? Report it as soon as you can. That keeps you out of hot water. Anyhow, yeah, they had big problems. So yeah, if you were somebody who was a client of West End Dental, your health information might be out there. Also, there were no physical safeguards implemented to access servers containing patient data. So some servers were located in unprotected in employee break rooms and bathrooms. Not like, of the things that could go wrong, that's kind of on the lower end, because you would think that was, a harder facility to get into. At least, you'd know if some strange person was walking through. But if they're, oh, hey, they're a maintenance dude that you haven't seen before, and they're in there changing lights, maybe they are grabbing stuff. Court documents also reveal that West End Dental did not conduct a forensic investigation. The exact number of people affected by the breach is unknown. They served around 17,000 patients across all companies and practices at the time of the attack. So, yeah, I mean, just because you're good with your information doesn't mean other companies will be. That's your takeaway. And even if they are, like, things still happen. So the less they know about you, the better. Here we go. Can you try a game I made? Fake game sites lead to information stealers. Surprise, surprise, surprise. And yeah, this will be our last one. I'm going to wrap it up here soon. But yeah, new malicious campaign making the rounds. Unwitting targets received a direct message on a Discord server asking about their interest in beta testing a new video game. So if you're a gamer, pay attention to this one. Off the message comes from the developer themselves, asking whether you can try a game that they personally made, and it's a common thing to lure the victims that way. Oh, dude, I see like World of Warcraft. I made this other game that's kind of similar. Can you come over and check it out for me? Give me some feedback. Let me know what to do with it. Boom, there you go. If interested, the victim will receive a download link and a password for the archive containing the promised installer. They're often on Dropbox, Catbox, often on the Discord content delivery network, using compromised accounts, which adds extra credibility. The target is actually downloaded and installed is in reality an information stealing Trojan. Bait and switch. This is a very old scam. It's just in new clothing. So yeah. Several variations going around, different installers. Stealers are spreading through, different stuff. Malware as a service stealer. Yeah, love this stuff. Where criminals rent out the malware and infrastructure to other criminals. That tells you how screwed up things are. Like, there's actually a market out there where one dude writes bad, malicious code and then sells it, and there's another dude that's the middleman who's like, yeah, I can market that to other people who want to steal information. It's just crazy. Anyhow, how to recognize the fake game sites. There's one very active campaign that uses a standard template for its website. Good. This makes it easier for cyber criminals to change name and location, but it's also easier for us to recognize them. There's the example of the template. So, yeah, I mean, it looks kind of cool, man, but, yeah. Have up-to-date, an active anti-malware on your computer. Verifying invitations from friends for a different channel, such as texting or contacting them directly on a social media platform. Remember that their account may be compromised. So, like, if you play an online game with them and you're on a headset with them and you get some message on Discord saying, hey, go download my game, talk to them in game. If you got their phone number, give them a call. If you got, their any other way though, like, that could be compromised too. That's a problem. And again, we'll say this, I say this over and over and over and over again. Don't act on unsolicited messages and emails, especially when they want you to download and install something. Pretty simple. They can't steal your dog if you don't let them in the house. Pretty simple. So yeah. Hopefully that was a good session. What am I on now? Oh, see, I'm on the wrong screen to be able to track my time. I've been on for an hour and 20 minutes. Oh, damn, that's pretty good. You okay, sweetie? My dog just coughed. You okay? I know, it's almost dinner time. So anyhow, that's enough for me on this one here. Let's go back over to here, and I can close or minimize that at least. All right, so if you made it this far, I totally appreciate it. If you didn't, I totally understand. It's a long session, but I had a bunch of good content, I think. Anyhow, thanks for joining me. I really enjoy doing this, and I will continue to do Fraud Fridays going forward. As long as people are out there trying to scam people and steal their info, I'll be over here trying to warn people off from having that happen to them or their loved ones.